Welcome to WebStylePress. In previous video, we created pure CSS custom radio buttons with custom look and feel. We achieved that by using only CSS. In this video, we are using JavaScript along with CSS to achieve that. We will add or remove a class by using jQuery to change custom CSS for radio buttons. This is our output. Actual radio buttons are hidden. Inspect. This is real input radio button. Display none. Uncheck that. And you see actual radio buttons that are hidden. And this is our styling. And these are already checked radio buttons. This is our HTML. I have custom.css file linked with it. Bootstrap is also linked with it for basic styling. I've got a container, a raw. Then I have got two columns in it. At the end, I have linked jQuery via CDN and I have got custom.js file. This is my CSS file and this is custom.js with the document.ready, and we have got a function that we will trigger here, or we will call here. We will create few radio buttons. So this is the wrapper with class radios. Inside it we have got few radio buttons, and notice that we have got label, and inside label we have got input and span with the text option 1, 2, 3. And then this label has got a class checked. If we want to check an actual input, we will place checked attribute with it. But we don't need that. We will just use this class checked at label. So this is a label. Inside it we have got an input. This is label. We have got input inside it with the text. And text is separate in a span tag. And the name for this radio group is option. Same name means this is one group. Refresh. Checked will be class that will display checked state for a radio button. We will apply this class or remove it from here. And if we want to make an input checked by default, we have to just use this class checked with label. And this input will be checked. Logic will be in our JavaScript file. For CSS, I will style label, display block, cursor pointer, font size 22 pixels and font weight bold. Refresh. And if I use this attribute checked for the input, this is checked by default. But we don't need to do that. We will do that by using JavaScript. We will hide actual input radio buttons by using display none in CSS. Refresh. Now we will style checked state. If we have class named as checked with any label tag, it will show checked radio button with our custom CSS. I am styling only checked radio buttons. You can also have some styles without checked state to start with. Style for only checked radio state. So label has got the class checked, and then we have got input inside it. Next to the input, we have got span, and we want to style this span for the checked state. This is why we have used tilde. If label tag has class named as checked, then style span tag next to that input inside label. Tilde selector is used to target next element. In this case, span is next element to input. Let's give span some styling. Color orange, position relative, that is important. We are going to use check mark at absolute state, and then display block. For pseudo before state, for this span, we will have some styles as well. We will have a CSS before pseudo element for span tag. We will display a check mark for this pseudo element. To do that, we'll use content property and then this value inside content property. This value comes from here. This is the check mark that we are going to use. Refresh. Then position absolute, left -26 pixels, top -4 pixels, some font size and some color like that. So this will be designed for our checked state for radio button. If we click at label, input inside it, that is radio button, gets checked. But if we refresh the page and then see, this is our checked state, but our input radio is not checked. That is because we have not used attribute checked for the input field, this field. We will do that by using JavaScript. Our CSS is done. Focus on functionality and not at the design. You can create any kind of design. We have the targeted span tag, style span tag in any way you like. Just focus on functionality here. Now we will apply JavaScript or jQuery for click functionality. Document.ready. When DOM document object model will be ready, we will call a function inside, that is custom radio. And we will write a logic for this function inside this block. So we click at the label. At label click, we are removing checked class from all labels. And then we are applying checked class to the label that was clicked. Let's see the result. Refresh. So these are our three labels. This is with checked class. So here's the checked class. From here it was removed. this is working, but there's a problem. Our checked radio buttons are showing check mark and actual radio buttons are being checked, but radio button that is checked by default has no checked attribute. As you can see here, this is empty, not checked. We will cover that. We will iterate through all labels and see which has class checked. Then we will add checked attribute for input that has checked class at its label. So here we can use .each method. For each label, we will check if it has class checked. If this means label dot has class checked. If yes, this dot find input dot attribute checked label dot find input label, if it has got checked class, find input inside it and add attribute checked. You can also use prop instead of attribute. Prop checked, and you'll use true here. Both will work. Save, refresh, inspect. This is the label and its input is now checked by default. So this radio group is working, but there is still a problem. If we have another group of radios, our functionality may break. If we take another radio group, this was a radio group, copy, and we've got this column, paste it here, option 1, option 1, option 1. We changed the name for these three inputs, so this is another group now. 4, 5, 6. Let's use this checked for this label. Refresh. Now we have got two groups, and as you can see, only one radio is working for these two groups. So we have to fix that. Even when we have got different names, these are two separate groups, but our JavaScript logic is not good enough for more than one radio groups. So we will have to modify that. I'll comment that and apply different logic here. To fix that, we will use this keyword dot closest and dot find methods. Label dot click function. This, that means clicked label dot closest radios. That is this. let's say this was clicked. So this dot closest radios. Now we are here, and then we will find all labels inside this radios and remove class checked from any label. Dot find label dot remove class checked, and then this dot add class checked. We removed checked class from all labels from inside a radio group. Then we added class checked for clicked label. This is what's going on here. Refresh. So this input is checked. Let's see. For checked input, our radio buttons are checked. Actual radio buttons are checked. And now both radio button groups are working independently. Refresh. This is one radio group, and this is second radio group. Now our click will be effective for radio group that received click for its radio button and won't affect the other radio groups at same page. So remember, here you need two things. First of all, you will check which label has got class checked, and if any label has got class checked, inside that we will find input and add attribute checked to that radio input. And then for the click part, at label click, we are removing checked classes from all labels inside a radio group, and then adding a class checked to the clicked label. So that is the whole story. Alright, like, share, subscribe, press bell icon. I will see you in the next video.